Have you ever reached a point in life where you just want peace? Not noise, not drama, just calm, connection, and comfort. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you've likely learned that not all relationships bring peace. Some, even those closest to you, can quietly drain your energy, test your patience, and steal your joy. It's a hard truth, but one many wise elders have come to accept. Protecting your emotional health in later life sometimes means stepping back from certain people, even if they're family. In today's video, we'll gently explore 5 types of people you may need to avoid in your golden years. Not out of anger or resentment, but out of love for yourself, because your time, your heart, and your peace are worth protecting. You don't want to miss this one. Some of the insights might surprise you and even help you reflect on your own boundaries in a new way. If this message resonates with you, feel free to like this video and consider subscribing. We're here to walk this path together with wisdom, kindness, and a little more peace. 1. The manipulator. As we grow older, peace becomes sacred. There's a deep longing for quiet mornings, warm conversations, and the freedom to enjoy life without emotional weight. That's why it's so important to be mindful of the people we allow close, because not everyone brings comfort. Some, unfortunately, take more than they give. Among them is the manipulator. They don't always appear harmful. In fact, they may seem kind, even vulnerable, needing help, support, or just a listening ear. And if you've spent your life being dependable, the strong one in the family, it's easy to fall into the habit of saying yes over and over again. Picture this. You're enjoying your afternoon coffee, savoring the quiet when the phone rings. It's someone you care about, maybe a family member, asking for just a quick favor, maybe a ride, a small errand, something they could probably manage on their own. And of course, you say yes, you always do, but soon you begin to notice a pattern. The calls only come when they need something, and when you hesitate, they make you feel guilty, like saying no makes you selfish or uncaring. This is not love, it's emotional manipulation. And over time, this dynamic doesn't just drain your energy, it slowly chips away at your freedom, your joy, and the life you've worked so hard to build. Manipulators are often subtle. They rely on your kindness, your sense of duty, your gentle heart. They know you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But here's something important to remember. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's an act of self-respect. You don't have to argue, explain, or justify. A simple, "I'm not able to help today," is enough. That's a boundary. And boundaries are how we care for ourselves. When you draw the line, you're not being cruel. You're choosing peace over pressure. You're choosing to honor the years you have ahead, not spend them worn down by one-sided obligations. It's okay to pause and reflect on the people around you. Ask yourself, do they add light to my life, or do they leave me feeling drained, guilty, or taken for granted? Healthy relationships are mutual. They give as much as they receive. This isn't about cutting people off or holding grudges. It's about being honest with yourself about what you need in this chapter of life. You deserve to feel safe, supported, and appreciated, not used. Your kindness is not a weakness. It's a beautiful part of who you are. But even kindness needs boundaries. And the truth is, when you say no to manipulation, you're really saying yes to your freedom, your well-being, your golden peace. And that's a powerful choice, one that brings you closer to the life you've earned. 2. The self-absorbed, the narcissist. Our later years are meant to be a time of quiet reflection, warm connection, and the freedom to truly be ourselves. We've carried stories, wisdom, and experiences through decades of life, and now more than ever, we deserve to be seen, heard, and valued. But sadly, not every relationship offers that kind of nourishment. Some leave us feeling small, overlooked, and emotionally empty. Among the most draining are those with self-absorbed individuals, often known as narcissists. They don't always mean harm. In fact, many seem charismatic, even charming. But the truth is, narcissists often live in a world where only their voice matters. They dominate conversations, redirect attention, and have a hard time offering genuine empathy. You might sit down, ready to share a memory that's close to your heart, only to be interrupted, talked over, or met with a story about themselves. Over time, this pattern becomes clear. It's not just a bad habit, it's a way of being. These individuals crave admiration, but rarely offer it in return. They seek attention, but struggle to give it. And when you're around them, you may begin to feel like your presence is only there to serve theirs, and that's a painful feeling. Because after everything you've lived through, your voice deserves to be heard. Your thoughts, your joys, your griefs, and your memories. They're not just stories, they're treasures, and you shouldn't have to compete for the space to share them. One of the hardest parts of dealing with narcissistic behavior is that it often creeps in quietly. You may find yourself questioning, am I being too sensitive? Or maybe I'm overreacting. That's what makes it so exhausting. And yet the exhaustion is real. The emotional toll of constantly shrinking yourself, of holding back, of walking on eggshells just to keep the peace. It's too high a price to pay. So what can you do? You don't need to confront them with anger. You don't need to make dramatic declarations. You simply need to draw a line for your own well-being. If someone constantly dominates your time or silences your stories, it's okay to say, I'd like to finish what I was sharing, or this conversation matters to me too. These gentle reminders reclaim your voice, your time, and your place in the moment. And sometimes the healthiest choice is to spend less time with them altogether. Not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Here's what's important to remember. Their inability to see you clearly does not diminish your worth. Narcissists often lack the capacity to truly connect, but that is a reflection of them, not of you. You are not invisible. You are not too much. You are not unimportant. Seek out those who light you up, those who listen with care, who ask about your day, who remember the little things. Whether it's a close friend, a kind neighbor, or even someone new from your community center, surround yourself with people who make space for your soul to breathe. Letting go of the need to please a narcissist is one of the kindest things you can do for yourself. It gives you the chance to invest in relationships that uplift rather than drain you. Your stories matter. Your wisdom matters. You matter. And when you begin to truly believe that, something beautiful happens. You set a new standard for how others treat you. And in doing so, you begin to shape a life that feels lighter, fuller, and more deeply aligned with the peace you deserve in this chapter of your journey. 3. The critic. In the later chapters of life, one of the most meaningful gifts we can give ourselves is the freedom to simply be, without apology, without pretense, and without the need to please anyone. After decades of navigating responsibilities, expectations, and challenges, you've earned the right to embrace who you are and how far you've come. But this freedom can quietly slip away when you're surrounded by the critic, the person who always seems to notice what's wrong, never what's right. You may know someone like this. It might be a friend who comments on how you dress, a sibling who questions how you spend your time, or a family member who constantly suggests you could be doing more, better, different. Their words may come dressed in concern. I'm only saying this because I care. But over time, those little remarks start to weigh heavy on your spirit. A passing comment about your appearance, a subtle jab at your hobbies, a disapproving look when you choose rest over busyness. Individually, these moments might seem small, but added together, they create an atmosphere of quiet judgment. And even the strongest among us can begin to doubt ourselves. What makes critics especially difficult to deal with is that their words often have nothing to do with you. More often than not, their criticism is a mirror, reflecting their own insecurities, regrets, or dissatisfaction. They point out flaws in others to avoid facing the discomfort within themselves. But knowing that doesn't always take the sting away, especially when the critic is someone close to your heart. So how do we respond? How do we protect our peace without burning bridges? The answer begins with discernment. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every comment is worth your energy. When someone offers feedback, ask yourself, is this coming from love or from control? Is it helpful or just hurtful? If it doesn't serve you, let it go. Their negativity is not your burden to carry. If you feel comfortable, you can respond with quiet confidence. Say, I appreciate your concern, but I'm happy with how I'm living my life. Or, that may be your perspective, but I'm proud of where I am. These simple responses aren't confrontational, they're affirming. They gently remind others and yourself that your choices are valid. Another powerful way to soften the critic's grip is to redirect. Critics often thrive in a space of negativity. Change the conversation. Talk about something that brings joy. Share a success, a moment of gratitude, or a memory that lifts the mood. Sometimes shifting the energy is all it takes to remind both of you that life is about more than judgment. It's about connection. But most importantly, surround yourself with people who see you, people who celebrate your wins, listen to your stories, and encourage you to keep growing. Not by tearing you down, but by standing beside you. Whether it's a friend who shares your morning walks, a neighbor with a warm smile, or someone in your community group who always greets you by name, these are the voices that matter. You've lived a life of courage, resilience, and love. No critic can take that from you. Their voice is just noise. Your truth is the melody. So hold your head high, laugh louder, dress how you please. Spend your days doing what makes your heart feel light. Life is too short and far too precious to waste on trying to meet someone else's idea of perfection. You are enough, you always have been, and anyone who makes you feel otherwise doesn't deserve to sit so close to your peace. 4. The irresponsible. In this season of life, when the weight of past responsibilities has finally begun to lift, when your days are meant to be filled with peace, reflection, and well-earned freedom, the last thing you need is to carry someone else's burden, especially when they refuse to carry it themselves. We all know someone like this, a friend, a sibling, maybe even a child or grandchild, someone who always seems to be in a crisis of their own making. Financial troubles, bad decisions, messy relationships, and somehow they always turn to you for help. And because your heart is kind and you spent your life being dependable, you help, again and again. They promise things will change, that this will be the last time, but you start to notice the pattern, the same mistakes, the same calls for help, the same excuses, and slowly your energy begins to fade. Your patience wears thin, and you start to ask yourself a hard but necessary question. Am I actually helping them? Or am I just shielding them from the responsibility they need to face? Irresponsible people aren't just careless with their lives, they can be careless with yours too. They shift the consequences of their choices onto those around them, especially people who care. People like you. They know you're generous. They know you want to see them do well. But over time, their dependence begins to feel less like a plea for help and more like quiet exploitation. And here's what you need to remember. Compassion and kindness are beautiful traits, but they're not meant to come at the cost of your peace. Being there for someone doesn't mean solving every problem for them. It doesn't mean carrying what was never yours to carry. True support isn't about rescuing, it's about guiding. It's about helping them find their own strength, not draining yours. Setting boundaries with irresponsible people is not harsh, it's healing. It's an act of love, both for them and for yourself. It gives them the chance to grow, and it gives you the space to breathe. Saying, I'm not in a position to help this time, but I hope you find a way through is not rejection, it's redirection. It's encouraging accountability. And that's a gift, not a punishment. You are not selfish for protecting your energy. You are wise. You are not cold for saying no. You are clear. And if anyone tries to use guilt as a tool to pull you back in, remember this. Love does not demand you sacrifice your well-being. You can still care. You can still offer encouragement, a listening ear, a prayer from your heart. But you are not responsible for fixing a life that isn't yours to fix. Your golden years should not be spent putting out fires you didn't start. Let this be a chapter where you get to choose peace over pressure, clarity over chaos. Surround yourself with those who respect your time, your wisdom, your boundaries. You've lived long enough to know the difference between helping and enabling. And if you needed a gentle reminder today, it's okay to step back. Sometimes that's exactly what helps others step up. You've earned your rest, you've earned your joy, and most of all, you've earned the right to protect it. 5. The ungrateful. As we grow older, One of life's quiet joys is the ability to give, not out of duty, but from a place of deep love, sharing our time, our stories, our care, and all the wisdom we've gathered through the years. There's something truly fulfilling in making someone else's path a little smoother, a little brighter. But perhaps nothing leaves a deeper ache in the heart than giving with love and being met with silence, or worse, criticism. You prepare a meal with care, pouring warmth into every dish, only to hear someone mutter that it tastes different or was better last year. You rearrange your schedule to help a friend or family member, only to be treated like your effort was expected, automatic, even invisible. This is the sting of ingratitude. And it's not just about unspoken thanks. It's the message behind the silence. It tells you without words that your care doesn't matter, that your time, your presence, your sacrifices, they're taken for granted. Over time, this can weigh heavily on your spirit. It turns what should be moments of joyful connection into quiet sorrow, and slowly it begins to erode the happiness you once found in giving. But here's something to hold close. Their ingratitude is not a measure of your worth. It's a reflection of their own limitations, not of the love and value you bring to the world. You are not less because someone else fails to see your light. Still, that doesn't mean you have to keep giving endlessly where it's not appreciated. Dealing with ungrateful people takes both awareness and courage. It starts by being honest with yourself. Allow yourself to feel that disappointment. Don't brush it aside. You're not being petty. You're being human. Then gently and with grace, ask yourself, is this person lifting me up or wearing me down? Do I feel valued in this relationship or drained? If the answer leans toward the latter, it may be time to draw a new boundary. Not out of anger, but out of self-respect. That boundary might look like doing less for those who take your efforts for granted. Maybe you don't go above and beyond anymore. Maybe you focus instead on the things that bring you peace, whether that's a quiet morning in the garden, lunch with a friend who always says thank you, or a hobby that fills you with joy. And if someone questions your change, you can answer with honesty and kindness. I've realized I need to spend more time doing what makes me happy. I hope you understand. Your kindness should never be a given. It's a gift. And like any gift, it should be treasured. So pour your energy into people who meet your warmth with gratitude. Those who light up when they see you, who listen when you speak, who never make you feel like your love is a chore. These are the people who remind you why giving feels good. It also helps to reconnect with why you give. True generosity comes from the heart, not from the need for recognition, but from love. And when you focus on that joy within, you begin to find peace, even in moments when others fall short. But remember, that inner peace does not require you to tolerate disrespect or disregard. You are allowed to expect kindness in return. Take a moment today to honor all the ways you've shown up, for your family, your friends, your community. Whether others noticed or not, you know the truth. Your love has made a difference. And by choosing to cherish your own worth and giving where your heart is honored, you ensure that these golden years are filled not with regret, but with grace, respect, and the quiet happiness of being truly seen. Protecting your peace, a gentle act of self-love. As we move through the golden years of life, something beautiful begins to unfold. We no longer chase the noise. We seek meaning. We no longer tolerate what weighs us down. We value peace. At this stage, life becomes less about pleasing everyone and more about honoring the quiet, powerful truth within ourselves. You deserve to feel light, respected, and truly seen. Throughout your life, you've given endlessly. You've been the one others leaned on. You've shown love, loyalty, and resilience in ways that often went unspoken, but never unnoticed by the heart. And now it's time to turn that same love inward. Choosing to distance yourself from people who manipulate, drain, or diminish you isn't harsh. It's healing. Whether it's a relative who only calls when they need something, a friend who constantly criticizes, or someone who never says thank you, letting go is not rejection, it's redirection. It's saying yes to your peace, your joy, and the relationships that uplift you in return. Setting boundaries is not about shutting people out. It's about letting the right people in. The ones who respect your time, who cherish your wisdom, who make space for your stories, your laughter, and your quiet moments of stillness. You've carried the weight of many chapters. Now let this one be lighter. Let it be softer. Let it be yours. So as you reflect on the people in your life, ask yourself not who do I owe, but who helps me feel more like myself. That question alone can change everything. And if today's message resonated with you, I invite you to share one simple thought in the comments. Just type, "My lesson." Whether it's a boundary you'll set or a truth you'll finally honor, your words might be the reminder someone else needs to hear. If this video brought you clarity or comfort, feel free to like or share it with someone you care about. It might be the encouragement they didn't know they needed. And if you'd like to walk alongside us for more insights like this, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. We'd love to continue this journey with you. Your peace is not just a gift, it's your legacy. Your happiness is not a luxury, it's your right. You are not too old to choose joy. You are not too late to protect your heart. And you are absolutely not alone. In the next video, we'll explore the kind of habits that make your later years healthier, freer, and more fulfilling, no matter where you're starting from. Until then, take care of your heart, guard your joy, and remember, this chapter is yours to write, and it's never too late to make it the most beautiful one yet.